26 female, am an escort and I am falling in love with one of my clients, 39 male. If you are going to pass judgment on my profession, please don't. If you are going to tell me I am being exploited, please don't. I am not here for that. I took on this client about a year ago. I was immediately struck with how handsome he was. As I got to know him, he showed himself to be a kind, sweet, charismatic, utterly brilliant person. He is always gentle. I never had to enforce any boundaries with him. Over the last year I have come to look forward to visits with him above any of my other clients. If there's a scheduling conflict, I will give him the priority. Lately I have been more intimate with him than my other clients. Cuddles, kissing, hugs, and other things I don't do with my other clients. I love my overnights with him. We have long deep talks about everything. We have a lot of shared interests and we just get along really well. I feel very safe with him. I am falling in love with him. It's never happened to me before. I have always kept emotion separate from my work, but I can't help it with him. I will spend time with him I don't bill him for. I spend extra time with him and just love to be with him. I've been spending time with him casually, going on dates, I guess, for lack of better word, that I'm not billing for either, and the lines are starting to become very blurry. I don't know what to do. I think I want to move the relationship from professional to personal. Truth is, it's already becoming personal to me, but I can't imagine he would be okay with my work if I was his GF. I am afraid of being rejected by him and ruining our work relationship. I think I would give this up to be with him, but that presents a whole new set of problems for me in finding a new career. I don't know what to do. Do I go for it? Risk rejection and ruining our professional relationship? Do I give up my career for him if he says yes? I don't think I could continue this if I was with him personally. Do I just keep silent and continue our relationship as is? Or do I drop him as a client altogether? I was never looking for a guy to save me, but I can't help what I'm feeling for him. Edit, I know why he's single. His wife died in an accident 3 years ago. Edit 2. I can't believe how many responses this post has gotten. I am going for it. I'll tell him this week. Now to figure out how. Lots had asked if I have a backup. I do. Edit 3. I'm about to leave for lunch with him. I'm not going to bring it up yet, but I do intend to ask him if he ever sees himself getting married again. Thanks for all the support. I didn't expect to see this much support. Edit 4. Lunch was nice. We had a good time. I did ask him if he felt like he could ever be married again. He said 3 years ago the answer would be a hard no, but now he wasn't so sure. Then he asked me if I ever saw myself getting married, and I had a similar answer. I told him I asked him if he wanted to come to dinner at my place tonight. Not work, personal. He said he's like that. I'm going for it. Final update. Well, I truly didn't expect this post to get the reception it did. I didn't think this many people would care and become so invested in my story. I really didn't expect all the support I got. I was flooded with comments, PMs and chat requests. Some were about what I expected. Accusations of gold digger and can turn a hoe into a housewife type comments. That's really the response I expected. What I didn't expect were the thousands of comments and messages of support. You were alright in that I did know what I really wanted. I did know what my heart was telling me, but seeing thousands of people tell me to go for it was the push I needed to not waste any more time. Shoot your shot, right? I'd like to address a few things before I get into the update. A few people mentioned the story about his wife might be fake and he's secretly married. I was pretty sure he wasn't married. I did out calls to his home, and my married clients never take me to their home, always a hotel. But I was regularly in his home. I saw the pictures of her around the house. I know she was real. How can I trust a guy who uses escorts? Well, this is a silly thing to judge him on considering what I do. I can't imagine judging a man for using my service. I was his first two, and unless he's a good actor, I know the awkwardness of a first timer, and he was definitely awkward when we first met. I never asked him if he started seeing other escorts because frankly it's none of my business. I should wait for him to approach me. Unfortunately, this probably wouldn't work. As the lines became blurred, I did tell him about a few clients who became overly possessive, obsessive and jealous. I had to drop I am sure he thought the same would happen to him if he tried to tell me he wanted a personal relationship. I had to be the one to make this move. Do I want to do this forever? Do I really want to give it up? Different variations on this theme of leaving the bees. Some in favor, some against. Bottom line is I don't think I see myself doing this into my 30s. It used to be fun and exciting, but lately it hasn't been. It just feels like work now, and the only meets I look forward to anymore are the ones with him. I also don't feel good about the idea of being committed to him but still seeing clients. I heard from a lot of other ex-workers and clients who were able to make that arrangement work, but I just can't. Even if he would be okay with it, I just can't. Another add-on to this is a friend of mine who has never been crazy about what I do. She's given me a standing offer to go to work with her company on the sales team. A lot of people suggested we try going out as friends and doing things outside our working relationship. I imagine my comments answering this one were buried in the flood of comments, so I'll put it here. We have been for some time now. We meet for lunches, dinners, we go to the movies and make little trips to sites around where we live. We also text throughout the week. Okay, on to the update. I think I left off yesterday that we had met for lunch. This was sort of a normal thing for us lately and we had a nice chat. I posed to him the question of if he ever saw himself falling in love and marrying again. He said after his wife died he didn't think it would be possible, but now he thinks he might be able to with the right person. Then he followed up with a question about if I would ever think about leaving the biz and getting married. And I sorta answered the same, with the right person, followed by a pointed stare. He had to go back to work by this point and I invited him to my home for dinner. This was a first. He has never been to my home. I don't bring clients back, they're only friends. I hope that sent a strong signal to him. I went back home and started getting ready. I had to go shopping for some things and get the place ready to have a guest over. I called my friend up. She knows about this guy and has been on the same page as Reddit, pushing me to make a move and settle down into something more normal. I told her about the Reddit post and said I was making the jump. I also let her know I wanted to take her up on her offer. I called up my upcoming appointments and cancelled. I said something had come up and I wouldn't be available. I'm out. I'm done regardless of what happened with him. If I can't get my head in the game anymore and I'm getting too personal. Plus now I am realizing I want to be in a relationship and I can't separate sex from my feelings like I thought. It's time to call it. This isn't what I want anymore. This choice was for me, not him. Even if things didn't work out with him, I realized I really did want to be in a committed relationship with someone. One thing that people mentioned was the idea that he could turn violent when I told him. I honestly didn't believe he would, but I asked my friend to call and check on me just in case. She knows the drill. We have safe and emergency words set up and we have a plan for if she gets no response from me at all. I got my shopping done and got dinner going, set the place up nice and romantic, and got myself dolled up nice and sexy and got ready to have him over. He came by at around 7. He had flowers for me and a bottle of wine. I invited him. He said he wasn't sure if he should bring payment or not and just did. I told him that wasn't necessary, he wasn't here as a client. I don't bring clients to my home. I was really hoping he was getting the hint. Dinner was going nicely, we had our usual rapport, but I could tell he was a little perplexed about what this was all about. So I put on my big girl panties, gathered my courage, and shoot my shot, as you all put it. I told him I was dropping him as a client. He looked surprised and hurt. He wanted to know why. What did he do wrong? Did something happen? I assured him it wasn't about him. I was leaving the biz and dropped all my clients. I told him about the job I took and he wished me good luck. He said I was attractive and charming and he was sure I would do well in sales. He said he was going to miss me. I took a big deep breath and said, "You don't have to miss me if you don't want to," and then I spilled it. He was the only client I brought home to tell in person. I laid it all out, all the things I mentioned in the post. How I felt about him and how I didn't want to be his escort anymore. I wanted to be his girlfriend. I said I understand he paid me to leave and not stick around, and now I was asking to stick around and I would understand if he didn't want to continue on. He said, "Who told you that?" That he paid me to keep coming back, not to leave. He said he felt it too, but he wasn't sure if it was appropriate to ask me that. He was still hurt over his wife and that he wasn't even sure if he was ready, but that some of the best things in his life he started when he wasn't sure if he was ready. He asked me if I was okay with being with someone who was still hurting over his ex. I told him I could work with it and that I wasn't trying to replace her. We kissed. I led him into my bedroom and we made love. We spent some time after in each other's arms talking about what comes next. He offered to help me make the transition, but I told him I wanted to try and do this on my own and not rely on him. I appreciated his offer, and if I needed the help I would ask, but I need to try on my own at first. He respected that. I told him that things would change now. As his GF I would have expectations of him I never had as an escort. He was okay with that. I told him I never asked or cared if he saw other women before, but now I wanted monogamy I would give it and I wanted it in return, so if he was seeing other escorts that would have to end, and I reminded him I dropped my clients. He said that wasn't a problem. I was the only one. He spent the night with me and left this morning. Where is this going to lead us next? I have no idea. Maybe I am making a huge mistake. Maybe this was fate. Maybe this was God working in mysterious ways. Maybe we're just two lost and lonely souls tossed around by the stormy seas of life that managed to find each other and cling to each other. Fate, fairy tale or fluke, we are going to see where this leads us next, and we're doing it together. I'm excited, elated and terrified all at once. My whole life has drastically changed in just a day. I didn't intend to move this fast, but once this train started rolling it seemed like there was no stopping it. To everyone who said I was a worthless whore who could never be loved, duck you too. To everyone who expressed concern, thank you. Maybe this is a mistake, but I have to find out. To everyone who encouraged me to go for it, thank you. You were right. Without the thousands of responses to go for it, I would have languished in that limbo for a lot longer. As a final thought, I want to say that this isn't normal. If you see sex workers, please don't think this is the norm and that the women you see may also fall in love with you. While I'm sure it happens and I've heard from others who were in similar positions to mine, it's really not the norm. If you're considering sex work because you think you can find Prince Charming, know this outcome is very unusual. Oh, and I hated Pretty Woman BTW. I never thought it would be me one day. You can PM nice comments to me if you have something supportive to say. If you just want to spite by, I'll save it.